Okay, I couldn't sleep, even though I promised myself 3 videos today. I only did one. Uh, I actually fell asleep for like half an hour, but the mosquitoes fucked me up. Kept this is the right side, this is the left side. So if I sit up straight, my face kind of goes back to normal. All right, and these have been annoying me. They're so fucking needy. Say hi, Sanfour. Sanfour means Smurf. Anyways, all right, my dudes. I hung out with my sister and my dad for dinner today. Fucking love them. They're literally my two favorite people. Like my sister's basically, I don't know how younger sisters are. They're just like very nurturing, understanding, and kind of like loving. But I spoke to her and I told her the truth about many things that I barely shared with my dad, and I spent a lot of time with him. I don't know if I wanted to tell her, if I just felt like that was the way to. I felt like we don't see each other. I didn't feel, I saw that we don't see each other very much. So kind of like, how do I express what I'm going through without actually telling her all the details? Because I don't want to tell her the details. I want to tell her the plans. I want to tell her the overall structures. But structure is missing. What's missing is it's in my head still. Like I have day-to-day things to do, but the overall, like, where is this going is still only in my head, which made me kind of like realize that even though I am planning for stuff, I'm not really overall including the things that I'm not monitoring how they're being done. So tomorrow's task, or today's task, because it's like 1 o'clock in the morning, is to go buy a board in order to write stuff on. And with that, I'll be able to completely just point at the things that. Which color should we give them? I don't know. Let's give them purple because it's yay, something that I do. But so, yeah, what I want to talk about, other than the realization that I have to like get the board in order to write the bigger picture and where the smaller parts that I have planned go under it and make sense. What I did get was a sense of anxiety, and it's right now, like about like an hour ago. And what happens when you get that is you kind of have to like either sit with it, resolve it, or kind of like let it go, and it comes again later on in life. With me, I think I've developed a superpower where it like comes, and then I try to kind of do something else. It's the lazy approach, right? It's the lazy response. It's always going to be the case where something shows up in front of you, and you go like, "Should I do it now? If I can do it later?" Naturally, what I did was I wanted to postpone it for the next day. Normally, when I postpone it for the next day without writing anything about it or like kind of like voicing it out, like sending it to myself on WhatsApp or something like this, I tend to forget, which is fine because it comes back later. And if it's really important, it sticks around. So the things that stick around sooner, faster, like in the moment, are things that should have high priority. And that's the only way I could actually tell that they have high priority because I'm not really investing in the effort of chasing after the things to see if they're right or wrong. I'm kind of relying on right or wrong for the path that I'm going. Like, no, is this something that I need to do right now or not? I I'm not really trying to make any decision without proper like understanding of why I'm making it and where it's going. But so it came to me, and the first thing I thought of was like, okay, you opened your mouth today, man. It's just something that doesn't really happen, and exposing how you're feeling. It's just funny because like this is a video about the feelings and the truth behind them, and exposing how you're feeling. Remember, I'm under the whole feelings aren't really real unless we make them, right? They're just something that we interact with within ourselves. So the simplest thing can make you feel super happy or super miserable, and it can go either way. It doesn't fucking matter. Ultimately, the exposure of me speaking about certain stuff. Like I'd be walking around and like having fun. I'd be talking to dad. We'd be like engaging with random things. We'd be recording our conversations and like discussing things like time and stuff that we discussed here. Like I mentioned half the shit that we talk about. But I talked about with the previous videos, emptying your mind and then you have to build it. And it kind of felt like that 30 minutes to an hour that I spent with them today between our conversation and theirs was just a bit more of a, was surreal, was a dumping flow. It literally happened so fucking fast. And I think it happened so fast simply because it was like one of those profound experiences. And I felt like I was like so open in that moment, so trusting in that moment, so kind of relaxed in that moment. It was a bit scary. And halfway through, wanted to look at her and be like, Habib, please, I don't want you to mention any of this to anyone that we know, especially my family. I don't know why, I just really don't think they would understand. Or I think they just throw bad energy at it. So as I'm talking, like, I never actually said that. I wanted to trust that she wouldn't. And even if she did, she wouldn't say it out of ill will. And there's a high chance the family won't even like, even if they talk to me about shit like this, I'm just gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna own up to it and laugh in their face. It's not gonna actually hurt me. Just felt like it was one of those moments that I want to keep, right? I wanted to like relish. But those moments come with responsibility. I opened my mouth. I said what I'm doing and the things that are kind of like making me excited, happy, and how the days are going. I opened my mouth, which means I have to own up to my shit. Or at the very least, I have to have something to back it up. And everything I'm doing backs it up for now. But it's changing every week and it's evolving. And I have to kind of like, it's evolving around me. So as I evolve, it evolves around me. And my main responsibility is to make sure I am actually more and more of what I want to become in order for what will happen as a second, as a circumstance of me being who I am, would actually respond to what I am. I have a strong feeling that these types of conversations where I'm like discussing things on video and all the cute stuff are making me process things a lot faster and smoother and to a different level. And they kind of give me a breeze of confidence or just like a security because like I'm listening to myself speak and I'm judging the actions that I'm taking towards the words that I'm using, and then basically it's just like the self-actualization part between yes and no, yes, and between the objective part and the subjective part of my relationship with myself and life and reality and all the good stuff. And as I'm processing these things, when I actually interact with a real human being, especially a real human being that I care to talk about, to talk to, right? Because we only get like 1 hour every 2, 3 months for us to kind of like open up all these things and just be cool, I guess, be free or ourselves or whatever. And what happens in those moments is kind of like one of those pivoting, I want to say paradigm shifts, or I want to just, maybe we can just call it like the, the it's one of those pivots for the patterns because we are building the pattern every single day, and they are the smaller days, the smaller patterns are part of, they create the bigger patterns. But every once in a while you have to look back and you have to look at the pattern and go like, is it still a pattern that would, is it a winning pattern, is it a successful pattern? It's not a reasonable or logical approach, it's a practical one, as in like, is this still working? There's no deep, profound thought behind logic. There's literally just, this is where I want to go. Is this still working? And the goal is to ask yourself that question after every single thing you do. Is this contributing? Is this still working? Is this going somewhere? What's the end result for this and all these things? It's funny because like the minute I tried to sleep for 30 minutes, I was out and then mosquitoes ran me over and I woke up and I was like, okay, so it looks like, I don't know, I'm gonna have to write something or like do something that allows me to kind of like empty my mind. I have to do some of this stuff. So I figured I'd write, and then I changed my mind because what I don't want to write anything on a piece of paper. I want to take something from paper and put it on Medium. So I kind of like went lazy on that one. Now that I opened my mouth, I'm probably going to do this after this video. And so I decided to go and try to sleep. I watched a couple of YouTube videos, and here we are. I'm making this video, and after this, I'm gonna fucking write the blog. All right, my dudes and dudettes. Thank you. And I don't know if I'm going to call this one Into Your Mind. Maybe something on the borders of exposure. But maybe how hard trust is or the anxiety behind trust. Let's see.